This is Smooth Dude with the Gangster Groove, Mayor Hawthorne.
And it's Jake Uno.
We are Tuxedo. You want to set it off?
Yeah, I chose the first record that came to mind as far as one of my favorite funk records is Funkadelic, Uncle Jam's Army. Just, all-time classic. It has Knee Deep, which is probably one of my favorite songs of any genre. So yeah, that's a guaranteed winner.
I mean, you can't talk about the funk without talking about Funkadelic. It's George Clinton. Him and James Brown are the funk. There was no funk before George Clinton and James Brown. So there it is. There also definitely would not be the funk without Roger Troutman. The many facets of Roger. That was definitely one of my all-time favorite funk records. Yeah, Max Axe. What else is on there? Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Do It Roger.
Do It Roger. Man, come on. That's like one of the funkiest cuts of all time.
The Cameosis album by Cameo, which is another kind of the long line of the big bands. It's like 10-piece plus band. And they just had an unmistakable groove. That album was definitely one that I remember as a kid, so it definitely has a special place for me.
Rick James, you can't talk about the funk without talking about Rick James. His Street Songs LP is like, that's a front to back, absolutely masterclass in funk music. It's just like, I personally love records where I don't have to skip anything on there, and that's one. You can just run Street Songs front to back, and it's banger after banger.
My next selection is kind of looked at as, it's kind of like a jazz funk record, I guess, but they were a really, really dope group of musicians, and it was an artist by the name of Bernard Wright.
Yeah.
It was on GRP Records, and it's the same crew that made Jamaica Funk with Tom Brown.
That whole crew was so filthy.
Everything they did, I liked.
Because Don Blackman played on all those records too.
All ththose guys were just.
And then Dave Grusin and Larry Rosen, the dudes that produced, they had the meanest hand claps in the universe. Chic was a little weird when they first came out because they dropped like a EP kind of to like test the waters, and then that was just called Chic, I think, just the self-titled thing. And I think they even didn't really know what was going to happen, and then
they had a smash out the gate though.
Yeah, they did. Well, Everybody Dance and Dance 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 were both on there. It was there was not a question about what they were trying to do on that record. They were trying to make people dance, which they did, man. They got it. But to me, the next record after that, which is C'est Chic, the French title, is really the one that when they dialed it in. And Bernard Edwards is my favorite bass player of all time. I mean, he's the funkiest bass player of all time, in my opinion.
Parliament Motor Booty Affair. Motor Booty Affair just, there's something about that album.
One just goes, man.
I guess that's when disco kind of cracked off, so they made things a little faster. But yeah, just Toast to the Boogie. There's a lot of jams in there. I love the slow song on there. You're a Fish, I'm a Water Sign?
Water Sign, yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
Is Aqua Boogie on there too?
I think so.
Oh my God, that is just like, that's Rumpelstiltskin. What's the one I just know it's gonna be one of those funky things. Yeah.
I don't know what that one's called though.
That's called One of Those Funky Things.
Yeah, they got it.
I mean, you just can't lose on there.
Whole album.
Yeah, that's front to back. And another front to back banger record for me is Prince's Dirty Mind. The purple one. Dirty Mind to me is like, it's one of those ones where you don't skip songs on there. That was his most perfect record to me. Everybody's got their own favorite Prince record, but for me it's definitely Dirty Mind. It was the sexiest record that he did for sure too, which is like, when I'm making music, I'm trying to make that shit sexy. He was the king.
That record cover used to scare me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It looked kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Aramis, yeah. He that's a rare one.
It's on Westbound.
Yeah, it's a Westbound record, but it was like
think it was at the end of Westbound, because even the logo on the label,
It's
I don't really
right?
see on any of the other ones.
Yeah, it's a really rare record. It's super hard to find, even in Detroit, where it's from.
Yeah.
It just never shows up, but it is a really magical album, man. It's like, it's very, very elegant.
That's the exact same word I was going to use.
It's super elegant. It's just a really classy funk record.